Nah, I just got somewhere to be. Nah, I just gotta get through, excuse me. Yo, watch out. Yo, move.
Yo, this is Jody, aka At Eaze. I'm a hip hop artist from Denver, East Side Denver to be specific. And the riches of my life is music, my family, my faith, and time. Getting as much out of the time that I have in life, whether that's creating memories, whether that's spending time with friends and family, just maximizing my time as much as possible in all my areas.
You talk about how you're a hip hop artist. You see, we in a nice studio right now.
Right.
So what got you to start doing hip hop music?
So first, I fell in love with music in general at a young age. I remember my first love musically was jazz. My pops used to, if I wouldn't fall asleep, he would throw me in the back seat and we'd just ride around listening to smooth jazz CD 104.3. If you were 90s baby, you remember that shit. So we used just to ride around listening to that until I fell asleep. So that's kind of where the seed was planted. And then just over time growing up, I just started loving music, period. So it could be, grew up in the church, loved gospel music, always watching kid movies. I loved the soundtracks to Disney movies. And then, probably around 6, 7 years old was when I started to hear hip hop consistently. And from there I was just like, yo, this stands out. This is something I like this. And I'm gonna try to do it. And I tried doing it, enjoyed it, was terrible at first, you know what I'm saying? I was ass, but I still was in love with the process of writing and, spitting it for my friends and the reactions that I got at the time. So, that's where the falling in love piece came.
Thank you, God, for waking all my peoples up. Another day for someone to spread peace and love. Shout out to my niggas that been keeping up. And RIP the soldiers that can't be with us.
Music is almost just embedded in you from you being a baby.
For sure.
When you come to this music world, what does it do for you as an individual?
It's something it makes me feel like outside of my actual home, it's somewhere I feel like I'm at home. Especially because over the time I done put in so much work and so much time. People know what I do musically, and they appreciate my art, they appreciate the lyricism, they appreciate the content. So when I get in these areas and in these circles, I'm welcomed like you belong here and you stand out as somebody that's like, hey yo, you it. You know what I'm saying? So it's gratifying, it's comforting, yeah.
Said that you would spit rhymes to your friends, the homies.
Yeah.
Who was the person, or was it within you to be like, let me actually take this thing to a serious level and actually put pen and paper and put my mind towards this hip hop world and actually go all in with it?
I think so. I started actually writing at 7.
Okay.
And I think around then I was like, I'm a rap, I'm gonna be a rapper, but it wasn't on some far off vision stuff. It was just like, I'm gonna be a rapper because I like rapping and I like the sound and whatever. And I remember recording with my cousins, my aunt and my uncle. And my aunt and uncle kind of ghost wrote for the kids to, so it made sense and it was in line. And I remember I was like, I got my own stuff. Let me record that. So they went ahead and let me record it, let me get it off, and it was terrible. But I thought it was hard. So my aunt was like, we gonna go ahead and do it for you. And you know what I'm saying, but just keep working on it. And that broke my heart because I was like, I felt like I was good enough, even though, looking off, I wasn't. But I was, heartbroken. So at that moment, I was like, I'll never let anybody outright me. know what I'm saying? Like nobody's ever gonna be able to tell me like, oh, I can do it better for you. Or I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be the best writer with this, like that, you know, that I can possibly be. Like I'm gonna just go 10 toes on it, spend all my time just focusing on crafting, you know, my art. You know what I'm saying? So.
Bro, some rappers all talk, I motor brake, pedal to the metal to the motor brake, give them all the real, tell them hold the fake, sticking to my circle like a roller tape.
Blood of a slave, heart of a king. Turning my brain out in my dreams. Turning my pain all in the schemes. They left welts on our backs, we grew wings. Blood of a slave, heart of a king. Turning my brain out in my dreams. Hands to the sky, blood on my jeans, so your soul may solidify.
When we talk about the music, and you said you ain't gonna let no one outright you no more, what are the challenges that you face at this stage of your career with inside yourself doing this?
To be real, I think every writer gets writer's block every now and again, so that's something that I deal with naturally. I think my struggle with writer's block is I always question, like, is this a forever writer's block? Like am I never gonna be able to write good again? And then, you know, every time I end up coming out of it with some heat to write, so that's always comforting. But some of the other challenges, I mean, this social media age of like having to do certain things in order for the algorithm to work with you so that, you know, your followers or supporters, or even people that are potential followers or supporters, can see your content. That's very difficult to maneuver. And really, you know, because I'm a different type of artist, like I'm a lot more positive, intentional about my content, but bar heavy, I do get a lot of respect for my lyricism, and for my content, but it's also difficult to get a lot of people to listen because the game is saturated. You know what I'm saying? So everybody want to be a rapper. Not everybody really cares about the craft as much. It's a lot of people that do, but it's a lot of people that don't, that just like the clout of it, just want to be seen, you know, stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of get in people's ears like, yo, I'm a music artist. Everybody's like, oh, here, another one of these. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so sure. It's easier when the music is just playing and they can ask like, yo, who's that? And then they come looking for me, or I'm at a show where they may not know who I am. They may know who I am. They may have heard of me. And then they get to hear it firsthand and be like, oh, I've been asleep, tapped in. You know what I'm saying? So those are probably the biggest ones.
I think that that part where I sped up a little bit, I want to do that one again. Keep everything, mute the ad-libs for it, but keep them. But just cut that part, just the fast part.
Ever since a youngin' had a passion, I was running deep inside, and I desired to be the best me. Solid in his eyes, I was never satisfied, but look to the pride cried when he left me. Everything's forgiven, cause it taught me I was living in a cycle, and the end would only stress me. Feelings to the side, throw a shout out to the sky, cause I know this on the daily that he blessed me.
One of your riches is faith and family. So as far as the faith, what is that to you?
So for me, so I'm a follower of Christ, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I don't like to call myself a Christian because I feel like the term has been like perverted. So I'm a follower of God, follower of Christ. And for me, that means staying true to what I believe, but being authentic in it as well. So, you know, a lot of Christians ain't gonna agree with the fact that, you know, I say nigga in my lyrics, or I may talk about the fact that, like, if you know you threaten the fam, I will pop you. Like, I don't play with the fam. Like, I will kill you over my kids, over my wife. And I think that's authentic. I think that's okay. It's not saying I'm just gonna go around murdering people, but it's like in protection of what I love and what God blessed me with. You ain't gonna touch that. So the fact that I'm authentic in my beliefs and what that means, and you know, it doesn't mean I'm perfect by any means. It doesn't mean that, you know, I do everything right or anything like that. But you know, I feel like my relationship with God, we have an understanding of like, yo, this is who I am, but this is also who I am in you. And so when I put that together, I make sure that, you know, I'm not out here wilding, I'm not doing nothing crazy that'll disappoint, you know, my Father in heaven. But I'm also authentic enough to be like, hey, yo, this is what it is, but I'm still, you know what I'm saying, making sure I walk on the right side of the, you know, of the tracks and everything. Like, for example, in my music, like I said, people may not have, on the Christian side, may not agree that I say nigga or that I talk about that, you know. I handle that if I need to. Talk about the fact that I used to sell drugs. They might not like that. They feel like that's glorifying, you know, negativity. But for me, I'm talking to somebody. I don't know who it is, but somebody's listening, and they able to be like, yo, that was me, you know, or this feels like me, and I struggle with this, like, you know, this side versus this side, but it seems like he's flourishing and being authentically him and still staying true to his faith.
Hey, one more time.
So this for everybody that ain't never been a part of this. You can call it quits. And sorry to myself for thinking there was something wrong with this, but I was trying to get the flawlessness. Building up a legacy to show my son and daughter this. Don't care if I slip and fall in it, I put my heart in this. And ain't no stopping unless you pop it with a lot of hollow tips. Artists are shaking their heads while they biting on some Rottweiler-ish. City going wild, I don't know why we don't acknowledge it. Shooting at a brother, son, and father, and you proud of it. Firing that will like a real and hating, has been a lot of this, a whole lot of this, but it's not my fault.